Man, I'm going to make these people wish they never threw this party with my epic crashing.
Wow, what's that over there? Is that candy? I want some candy. Oh my God, is that miasma? We're all
that-
gonna die.
What's miasma?
Is the slush that comes out of the ground and chases you, and if it touches you, you die.
Yeah, I don't think that's real. I'm pretty sure that's not what
No,
that
it's
is.
real because I just saw a whole town get swallowed by it.
You're joking. You have a really good sense of humor, kid. Now let's go crash this party. You want to be my partner?
I guess.
Are you okay?
No. But I have red boots, so let's go.
Okay.
This week on a novel console, a party crasher goes eastward to enjoy Texas Roadhouse. Roadhouse. Hello, welcome to A Novel Console, your weekly podcast where we talk about books, games, food, and stuff that caught our attention during the week. My name is Chris, and with me is my beautiful co-host and wife, Karradyne.
Hello.
How are you doing today, Karradyne?
I am A-okay. How are you?
I am tired. It's been
Yeah, I think we're like a teeny tiny bit hungover-ish, sort of.
Yeah.
We're old.
Yeah, we went out for your birthday, and we're still exhausted, and it
Groggy.
also doesn't help that I worked the whole fucking day,
Yeah.
an entire day.
Working on the weekends is not fun at all.
No, it really sucked.
But thank you for making my birthday special.
I'm
My
glad.
big, fat, terrible, ugly birthday.
Ugly?
Ugly birthday.
Why? Just because you're
It's an ugly number. The 3 is ugly. It's very ugly.
It's okay. It's all right. We had fun. We had a
We
lot
did.
of fun.
We had a great time.
And everybody that went, thank you for going.
Yes, thank you, friends.
That shit was fun. So you brought something for us to try.
I did. This thing has been circulating social media, and everybody's like, I can't find it anywhere. And we've literally seen it in stock at every gas station we've been to. So I don't know if people are just like not going crazy for this in Orlando or what.
I mean, it might be artificial, what's it called? Deflation.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
deflation, but
Everybody's making you think that it's sold out everywhere.
yeah, like
but
an artificial
actually,
shortage. It's overabundant. They have no idea what to do with it, so they're starting to throw it out.
So yeah, I got the Mountain Dew Gingerbread Snap'd drink, and we're gonna have a live reaction to it right now.
Before we try it, the label says "Dew with a blast of artificial gingerbread flavor."
Well, no shit, it's artificial gingerbread flavor. It's in a bottle of soda.
It sounds disgusting, and Luna wants some.
Luna
'cause
wants to try it too.
She's climbing on my
She
leg
loves
trying to get
gingerbread,
at it.
apparently.
Oh, she loves a lot of things.
We got to Google whether or not gingerbread will kill a dog.
She also loves paint chips from the popcorn ceiling.
Oh my God, we had to like strangle her to get it out of her mouth.
So I'm glad she's not dead today.
Yay,
So let's
thank
open
you
this.
for not being dead, Luna.
Oh,
You already let the
Yep.
go away before you.
Oh, it smells like
It's a little.
it smells so off-putting.
let me.
It's so upsetting. It's like a fake gingerbread candle.
Oh boy, it does smell like a candle. It smells like a Kirkland's at Christmas time
Look at it.
with a hint of Mountain Dew.
With a hint of Mountain Dew. That makes it even worse. Let me give it a...
Here we
Oh,
go.
boy.
Here we go. He looks okay so far. Oh, he's not making any terrible
what
faces.
the fuck was that?
It's like here.
like-
I cheated
it's like-
and tasted it yesterday.
It's like ginger ale with a little bit of Mountain Dew. Oh, God. I have a bad aftertaste. Oh, no. This aftertaste is not good. It's like all the spices from a gingerbread cookie just like scratching the back of your throat.
No,
That is-
it's not.
Oh, God, that's not good.
You are
Oh,
exaggerating.
it's so floral and nasty. I don't like it.
So it's similar to ginger ale because ginger ale, but it is more of the like gingerbread heavy-ish, if that makes sense. More like cinnamony. It's not like overwhelming cinnamon. I think it's kind of refreshing, really. It's like a Christmas ginger ale. They threw an extra sprinkle of Christmas into it.
Oh, they can keep it. I don't like this.
Oh, I like it.
I don't know.
I'll drink all of them. It's fine.
You can have it.
We have a bottle and a half now. Put it back on your coaster.
I don't want that. That's
You have to look at it.
That shit is garbage.
Now, no, you need to take another sip again a little bit later, because my first sip, I was like, holy crap, this is nasty. And then I kept drinking it and I was like, oh, I can get behind this.
Yeah, you wanted some for dinner last night.
I did. I drank it with my dinner of that thing that I can't say, and chicken wings.
Yeah, arroz con gris is like cooked white rice with like black beans in it. It's really good, but yeah.
It tastes super tasty with gingerbread Mountain Dew. Mm-hmm.
And Frank's Red Hot.
Yes.
All right, so you sent me some pictures of the most popular books published the year we were born.
Yeah, I was just scrolling Facebook, and I feel very targeted on Facebook these days, but one of the things I scrolled past was find out what was the most popular book published the year you were born. And I was really disappointed by both of our books, especially since our 3 younger siblings got amazing books the years they were born. They fucking suck.
Yeah.
I'm looking at all of you. None of them listen, so we can say whatever the hell we want about them.
Crystal does.
Oh, she does?
Yeah,
I didn't think she did.
She does. She has nothing better to do. Hi, Crystal.
So I guess we should start with our books first, and then we'll say why we're jealous of them and their books.
Yeah. So
I don't even remember the time. These are 2 books I'd never heard of before. Let us know if you've heard of or read these books or know anything about them.
probably Burger Champ.
I was about to say, I'm sure Burger Champ is at least familiar with one of them.
He knows everything.
Surely. He really does. Maybe you should be like an encyclopedia person. I don't know. I'm talking out of my head now. Don't listen to me.
Oh.
Walking encyclopedia.
What he needs to do is just start his podcast already.
Yes.
That's what he needs to do.
All the random crap stored in my brain. That's what you should call it. All the random crap.
All right. So my book was The Things They Carried by Tim O'Brien, a 1991 Pulitzer Prize finalist. The Things They Carried is divided into a collection of short stories about a platoon of American soldiers during the Vietnam War, narrated by soldier Tim O'Brien. The story touches on themes like memory, imagination, and the value of storytelling.
That sounds kind of boring, not gonna lie.
That sounds very, very not for me. It sounds like something your dad would read.
It does. My dad probably has read it.
Yeah, he probably loves the book, and we don't think it's for us. And you had 1991, 1,000 Acres by Jane Smiley. Worthy of the 1992 Pulitzer Prize for Fiction, the story recaptures the plot of Shakespeare's King Lear, the mirror life in the... Wait. The plot of Shakespeare's King Lear to mirror life in the 20th century. There we go.
Oh, that sounds so boring.
The text is so little that I can barely read it.
I'm sorry.
It centers around a wealthy farmer in Iowa who divided his farm between 3 daughters in his will. After objecting to the size of her share, his youngest is cut out of the will, sparking a chain of events that resurface bottled up emotions.
So my sister, who is the oldest of the younger siblings that we have, 1995.
She's not the oldest sibling you have.
She's the oldest young sibling that we have.
The oldest young sibling.
Yes. I have to remember these things now. It's taking a lot to get used to. A lot of getting used to having another sibling.
Lost brother.
Yeah, that only came into my life this past year.
Like 2 months ago.
Well, it's been like 6 months now. Thank you.
You have a brother that you've known for 2 months, and he's been alive for like 40 years already.
He's not that old. He's only a little bit older than me.
He's older than your dad and everything.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, oh God, I hope my dad's older than 40. I mean, he was very, very young when they conceived me. Anyway, okay. 1995, the #1 book published that year was Wicked.
No, don't know.
You know Wicked. You know what it is. It's about the Wicked Witch of the West. Also, we need to sit down and have you watch The Wizard of Oz because that's un-American. That's un-American.
I'm Puerto Rican.
You're still American.
No, I'm a water Mexican.
Anyway, and then Crystal was born in 1997, right?
Yeah.
That little... Oh! Guess what her book is? Guess.
Harry Potter.
Yes, it's freaking Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. I'm so jealous. And then my little brother, 2001, The Life of Pi. That's actually a really good book. Although I did enjoy the movie better than the book.
It would have been funny if you said 2001 Hunger Games.
2001 A Space Odyssey.
No, he would have had to have been born way long ago. That's probably like your dad's book, if that's a book. I have no idea if that's
Is it based on a book? I don't know. I feel like it probably is, but who knows? I felt like I was tripping on drugs when I watched that movie, and I never touched any drugs at that point.
Now, that got us thinking, and we decided to look up
the most popular video games
in 1990. Yeah. We didn't do 1991. And actually, this list from 1990 is like, oh shit, this is a solid banger of a year.
This is according to Wikipedia, so don't hate on us if any of it's inaccurate.
Official list. But know that some of these games are arcade only, so that explains why they're on this list. Which was surprising me. I was like, this doesn't make sense to me at all. So 1990 saw many sequels and prequels in video games, such as Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake, which is for the NES, not PlayStation 2, because that's Metal Gear Solid 2, not Metal Gear 2.
That's not confusing.
Dr. Mario, Dragon Quest 4, Final Fantasy 3, which is one of my favorite games of all time. Final Fantasy Star 2, Super Mario World, which is fucking great, along with new titles such as Fire Emblem, Shadow Dragon, and The Blade of Light, which that game actually did get a remake on the DS, and I've been playing that shit for like a year, and it's so damn hard. And Magic Sword, the year's highest grossing arcade games, which ended up being the biggest game of the year, was Final Fight, and then Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the United States. While the best-selling 1990 home video game releases were Super Mario World and Super Mario Bros. 3 in the United States. That is written very weirdly. And
Luna's mad.
Luna's very mad.
Luna's mad. See, I knew that like Mario and stuff was a good bit older than us, but I didn't know like Final Fantasy was a thing the year we were born. I didn't know that's been a thing for that long.
So, Final Fantasy's been around since the 80s. So it's
really?
Like the late 80s. Like, I think 87, 88, if I'm not mistaken. And it's Final Fantasy 3, but it's actually Final Fantasy 6.
So it's doing some confusing Star Wars shit.
Yeah, because they released Final Fantasy 1 and 2 in America. But in Japan, they kept doing them, and there was this belief for some reason that Americans were really bad at video games. So they didn't release any of them until 4. They released it over here as 2. And then 6 as 3. And then when
That's
7
confusing.
came out, because 7 was
very confusing.
7 was called 7 everywhere. Everyone was very confused. Like, where the hell did I just miss like 4 games in between 3 and 7? It's probably less games than 4, but so then eventually they started releasing all of them. I don't think. Well, yeah, 5 did get an official release on Steam, but it's like a remaster. So I've never played that one. I think I have a repro cart for the Game Boy Advance. I should probably play that because George was saying that shit is fantastic. So, but 6 is still gonna be my favorite till the day I die. You're just shaking your head. What are you doing?
Having a brain fart.
All right, are you ready for books and stuff?
Wait, no, I don't know what that segment is.
All right, it's time for books and stuff.
No! Book talk! This week's book is The Party Crasher by Sophie Kinsella, whose last name I always wonder if I'm mispronouncing. It was published on October 12th, 2021 by Dial Press. I freaking love Sophie Kinsella. I did not hop on the Confessions of a Shopaholic train until much, much later. That was not my introduction to Sophie Kinsella. Are you familiar with the Confessions of a Shopaholic?
I remember you playing that audiobook in the car on some trip somewhere. And
Oh, you remember that?
yeah.
Seriously?
And it was atrocious.
You remember. Yeah, because I listened to it on the way to Georgia years ago.
Yeah,
Years.
I remember that.
Yeah, that's crazy. I cannot believe that you paid attention enough to remember. That's crazy. But
right.
yeah, so it's a movie too. That redhead who is in that one Scooby-Doo movie, and Now You See Me. She has a really complicated name.
Isla Fisher?
Yeah, her. Right? Yeah. Yeah? I have to look this up now.
Okay, 1 second.
Yes, it is Isla Fisher. I have confirmed. She is in the Confessions of a Shopaholic movie.
Her name is not hard. Her name is Isla, which is Island Fisher.
I remembered it as being much harder than it actually is.
Oh, Lord.
But yeah, so a couple years ago, it was before I met you, I stumbled upon, Sophie Kinsella had written a YA novel. Most of her novels are adult, like contemporary romance, but like closed door romance, so they're kind of boring. As we found out last week, the difference between closed and open door romances.
Oh, Lord. Even my mom listened to that episode, and now she wants to read that book. You know how upsetting that is?
You got to think about your mom reading Raylo sex scenes.
No, stop. No, continue.
I love it. Everyone needs to read Raylo sex scenes. Now I just want to talk about that book again. You've derailed me.
Too bad. Party
Today's
pressure.
book is The Love Hypothesis, again, by Allie Hazelwood. No. So yeah, she wrote this YA novel called Finding Audrey, and I couldn't tell you what it was about at this point, but this woman is so fucking hilarious.
It wasn't about finding Audrey. Where was she?
I don't remember.
Was she in the barn? Hiding behind the haystacks?
I'm telling you, this woman's sense of humor is just like right on par with my stupid sense of humor. She is so funny. I then went through this thing where I checked out literally every book of hers that I could find at the library, and I read them on the call floor because it was when I was still a call floor employee, and I laughed my ass off every single day reading this woman's books. So her last two books I actually got approved for ARCs of, which was pretty exciting. This one I had an ARC. I read it after it published, but so basically this story, it starts out with these three adult siblings, and they're going home for Christmas to their beloved family home. I mean, it's like, you know, the typical house that, you know, everybody hung out at, and there are tons of memories, and it had a nice tree house, and it's just a very sentimental home. Like her stepmother had painted little like caricatures all over their kitchen and stuff like that.
So like the house in Parenthood.
In Harry Potter. Yes, it's like the house in Parenthood. We'll go with that.
Like the house in 70 show.
Yeah,
Foreman's house.
Yeah, it's just a really sentimental house. So they're always excited to go back home for Christmas. So it opens up with them going home for Christmas, and they're kind of disappointed because their parents didn't go all out. Mom has died. Stepmom basically stepped in and raised all of them, but the main character is the youngest, and stepmom is the only person that she remembers. She doesn't remember their mother at all. And turns out that Christmas is dulled down because they're telling them that they're splitting up.
The stepmom and the dad?
Yes. And our main character, the youngest, is just completely and utterly devastated. So then the story starts like a year later. Dad's got this young, hot girlfriend who they think is a gold digger. And she has come in, she painted over all the caricatures in the kitchen, and they're selling the house. They're having one last party at the house for everybody to get together. All the kids that used to hang out at the house, the whole neighborhood, all their friends they want to impress.
The stepmom.
Yes. Well, no, the stepmom's not invited.
Oh, that
Stepmom
sucks.
is not invited. No, it's only dad and new girlfriend.
Shame.
But basically, our main character had a falling out with the girlfriend, new girlfriend, and dad prior to this party, and she doesn't get an invite.
What?
Her siblings are literally going to this party to collect all the things that they want to get out of the house before it sells, like the next week, and she doesn't even get invited. Well, she passive-aggressively contacts the new girlfriend, is like, oh, my sister told me about this party you're having. And she's like, oh, I guess there was like a delivery failure or something. Let me send you the invitation. Then she sends this like half-assed, not even legit invitation to her. So she decides she's just going to sneak in, unbeknownst to everyone, and steal her Russian dolls, which is the only thing she wants to save from this house. Her nesting dolls. You know what I'm talking about? Those things?
I know,
yeah. So literally the entire novel from like page 50 is just her sneaking around hiding at this party trying to get her nesting dolls.
You know that the nesting dolls are actually based on like a real thing from Russia? Like that's how people are born. Like you take the top half off of a Russian off and there's another person inside. That's how
I'm going to throw this plate at you. I'm going to crack it over your head. I can't. I cannot with you. Oh, Lord. So basically she's just hiding in random places in this party. Her sister figures out that she's there. She tries to hide in the sister's bed underneath pillows and stuff. And sister like starts beating the crap out of her thinking she's an intruder. And her ex-boyfriend is also there. And he gets in on the scheme. And then they wind up back together. They have sex in a treehouse.
Oh, Lord.
But it's a closed door sex in the treehouse.
This book just sounds like it's just like a cartoon.
It kind of is that way, but it's cute and it's funny. It's relatable. Sort of. I mean, my parents split up long time ago. I didn't have time to be mad about it because I didn't know what being mad was.
And your dad and stepmom are still together.
Yes.
So in a couple of years, they might get divorced and your dad will get a new hot girlfriend.
Don't say that. Don't say that. My dad would never.
No, he
Never.
wouldn't. He would not.
No.
No, he's there till he dies.
Yes, he is. But yeah, it's cute. But it is kind of like, at one point I was sitting there like, this is seriously all the book is. It's just her like jumping around between bushes and climbing into hidden closets, and it's
So all of a sudden it became Metal Gear.
What?
With the sneaking.
Yes. Like crawling through the attic crawl space and looking down on her stepmother and father having a fight. She literally sees from hiding in a wardrobe, I think, with like a mirror on it, the stepmom rip off her Spanx and throw them into like a planter.
What the hell?
Yeah. But all of this ultimately leads to her like overhearing a conversation about her and like how they're so sad that she's not there. And the sister finally loses her mind. She's like, well, she didn't get invited. And dad's like, what the heck? Why wouldn't you invite my children? Then it turns out that new girlfriend is truly evil, and she has been screening all of dad's phone calls and won't let him talk to his children, which made the youngest think that her dad didn't like her anymore, when really it was just new girlfriend orchestrating everything. They break up, the house still gets sold, and everyone lives happily ever after and broken up. I just spoiled the entire plot.
Book. Should I cut that out?
No, because I mean it's just like a silly little, it's nothing really that you would like go into investing yourself in. Does that make sense?
All right, so it's
just like a cozy little book to curl up with on the weekend and have a couple good laughs. And
so it's the funny
you know
stuff
how
going
it's
in the
gonna
middle.
turn out. Yeah.
It's the funny stuff in the middle,
funny.
not the ending.
It is. It's silly. It's
kind of like our episodes.
Yeah.
Our episodes are mostly about garbage. That's what everybody listens
We just need
for.
to make a garbage exclusive podcast.
Just garbage,
Yeah.
nothing else. You know, I'm sure that if we do just a garbage podcast like every week, we would still have the same amount of listeners because that's all they listen to.
I think so too. I think so too. But also like,
Except for like a handful. I mean, there's a couple of listeners that like the video game stuff or the book stuff, but
I just imagine us needing
like
to
2.
review like 3 restaurants a week.
Oh my
and
God, no.
we'd be broke, fatter than we already are, and we'd run out of places to eat so fast.
Yeah. We have like 2 listeners that actually like the entire episode.
Oh, that makes me sad. Sometimes I do worry that we are a little like too broad, but I don't know.
Eventually, some people will start coming over that'll click with everything. And I mean, we have 2 already. So, all right. So, what else do you want to say about the Party Crashers?
If you are into like silly humor,
wait. Was Vince Vaughn and wow in this movie?
Oh my gosh, because they're in Wedding Crashers together?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, let's do a fan casting. Her sister's name is Bean, and she's really like high strung, and she finds out that her life is changing at a point in the story. Who would be the high strung sister of Isla Fisher? I'm going to say Amy.
Poehler?
No, not Amy Poehler. Is her name Amy? Oh, God. She's in Disenchanted.
What?
Disenchanted. I'm mixing up the show and the movie.
It's Disenchantment is the show. Yeah.
Disenchanted. She's another redhead. She comes into the office for a couple episodes. She is in
I know who you're talking
about. A space movie. Amy
McAdams?
No, that's Rachel McAdams. What is this girl's last name? She's in a movie with Clint Eastwood.
Let me see.
Okay, we were pretty close. It's Amy Adams, not Amy McAdams, who I'm mixing up with Rachel McAdams, Amy Adams.
All I know is that the main character should be played by Isla Fisher, just because.
Yeah, because we got to keep up the Sophie Kinsella trend, I guess.
Yeah, and
then Vince Vaughn would obviously have to be the boyfriend that she reunites with, because Vince Vaughn is who Isla Fisher is with in Wedding Crashers.
Yeah.
Wait, isn't Owen Wilson with Rachel McAdams in Wedding Crashers? Yeah, because she's the one who's with Bradley Cooper, right? And then she falls for Owen Wilson. I want to rewatch that movie now.
I don't remember that movie. All I remember is them being drunk in a bunch of different weddings.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Rachel McAdams, and Bradley Cooper is such an asshole. That's the first movie I ever saw him in, and I hated him. I hated him.
I remember Isla Fisher being like 12 and excessively horny the whole movie.
Yeah. So Bradley Cooper would be a good Humph. There's a character named Humph who's rather silly, and our main character may have hooked up with him once.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, that's going to be Bradley Cooper.
Oh, wait, Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, no, that's not Bradley Cooper. Owen Wilson can be their brother or something. I don't know.
All right, so what else do you want to say about the Party Crashers?
I think I already said it, but it's cute. It's a fun, light read for a weekend that you just don't have anything to do and want to smile a little bit. But yeah, I had to dock a star because I just was a little scratching my head over the whole concept of it literally just taking place at this party. The entire book. It's just at the party, basically.
So how many stars?
4.
4 stars?
Yeah, it's still really wholesome and fun, and just not a lot happens. So definitely go into it knowing that not a lot happens.
I see.
I think one of the reasons I liked it so much is because I do enjoy her writing style and her humor. I don't know that I would have loved it if it had been like the first Sophie Kinsella book I'd read, if that makes sense.
I get it. I get it. Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and get into game talk.
Fucking hell, it's games and stuff.
So for this week's game, we have Eastward. It was developed by Pixbill and published by Chucklefish on September 16th, 2021. September. It is an action, adventure / role-playing game a la Zelda and Mother or Earthbound, if you will.
Mother.
Yeah, it was released for the Nintendo Switch, PC, and I think that's pretty much it because the Wikipedia page for this is kind of a mess. Oh, it was also released on Mac OS. So the plot follows Sam and John. The duo live in an underground mining community, taught to fear the outside world, and Sam desires to know more about the outside world, and the two end up exiled to the world above. What haven't I said about this game that I can say?
Yeah, you were already raving about it. I was kind of surprised you decided to review it after you already said so many things.
Yeah, because we posted on Instagram like a little mini review about the game, how much I loved it, and all that stuff.
Which was a lot.
This game, it's just, let's just start with the graphics. It's just beautiful. It looks incredible. It is pixel art style at its best. It has such fluid motion in the animations that even the characters just standing around, you see pretty much all of them breathe. So it's just fantastic. And then whenever you're in a cold environment, every time they breathe, a little cloud of not smoke, what's it called? Steam comes out of their mouth like it would in real life. I really, really just adore the art style because it is done so perfectly well. Pixpil did such an amazing job on the art style. Man, oh my God. You just need to play this game. This game is fantastic. It just came out of nowhere. So apart from the art style being beautiful, the music is just so good. It's so wholesome. It just makes it feel like a good, wholesome cartoon show.
Feel good.
Yeah, it's just feel good. But
Do.
then it has very dark moments.
You're ignoring my musical number.
You don't even like that song.
I do like that song. It's the only song that I like.
From Gorillaz?
Yes.
Oh, Lord.
No, it's the only song that I like
Ever?
in the history of my life. Only Feel Good Inc. by the Gorillas or Gorillas.
By Gorillaz.
By Gorillas.
Not the Gorillaz. Yeah. So it's just feel good, amazing music. It does ambient noise very well. So whenever you go in, you're exploring a cave underground or like an ancient laboratory or something.
Are there like drips and
There's drips and creaks and the steps and yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like all the monsters they make. I don't remember if the monsters did noise. I beat this game like a month ago, so I don't really remember that part.
Boy.
But the sound design is great. There's no voice acting, but during the combat, you have a gun, you have a frying pan as a melee weapon, you have a buzzsaw that you can shoot, and a flamethrower. And they all sound so crunchy and they feel so good. Like the sound, I'm a firm believer that the sound behind a weapon is what makes a weapon feel like it's good and it does its job. So the gun that you get, it's pretty much a shotgun. And every time you shoot it and you hit an enemy, it just sounds like it actually is a heavy gun that is going to tear you to shreds. Now, there's no blood and gore in the game, but you know that if you get hit with that shit in real life,
right,
you're gonna become a puddle.
Right.
And the gameplay is just fantastic. I mean, it's very Zelda. So you go to dungeons, you explore, you find MacGuffins, you activate switches, solve puzzles. And the cool thing is that in this game, you control John and Sam. John is a silent protagonist. He doesn't talk at all throughout the entire game, not even at the ending. I was expecting him to say something at the end because the ending was so touching and emotional. And Sam pretty much does all the talking. She's a little girl. And she gave me father complex. Like
paternal instincts.
She was my daughter.
Oh,
and I had
boy.
to protect her.
Don't let Luna hear you say that.
To the point
She'll
where
be devastated.
So in the game, John has all the weapons and the attacks and everything, and then Sam has magic abilities. But her magic abilities are more, I throw a ball of light that activates stuff or it freezes enemies in place. And I would just keep Sam in the back, let John handle all the beating and everything. And then whenever I would need Sam, I would switch out real quick, attack, and come back to John, because I just did not want my daughter to get hurt. She's so adorable.
That's pretty cute.
She's so charming and so cute. And she pretty much, like, John gets pretty much dragged along with everything that Sam wants to do, because John is a silent, stoic protagonist. So whatever Sam wants to do or does, John goes along.
And he looks like Tony.
You're Tony.
Yes,
Yeah.
there are like 5,000 Tonys in our life, and it's really confusing.
You know, the thing is that Sam isn't his daughter. John,
Is she adopted?
No,
or-
John found her in like a water tube, like a
What?
you know the
Like sewage?
no, a tank where you're being healed and you're floating in the water.
Like a cryo.
Something
type
like that. Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. So he found her in one of that in a cave in the town where he used to live, which I think it was called
That's not random.
Crockpot Isle. Crockpot Isle, yeah. There's the towns have weird names. There's Crockpot Isle, there's New Dam City, and then the last one I don't really remember the name, but it's big throughout the story. So yeah, so she kind of has a big mouth. She's kind of opinionated. So
How old is she?
she's like, I don't know, like 8 or 10, something like that.
It doesn't say.
No. At one point in the story, one of the characters gives her little red boots, the one that she has in her art style. And she's so happy. It made my heart so warm. I was like, oh my God, she's so cute. It's my daughter.
You're a mess.
Yeah. So the gameplay, like I said, it's very Zelda. And then the story, it feels very Earthbound, very what's it called? Adventure Time. So, you know, you got a bunch of quirky characters, a bunch of odd people just that you would just interact with throughout the game. And this game is post-apocalyptic, and it's populated by humans, for some reason monkeys that talk, and robots. And the robots are just like people, so there's a lot of commentary on social classes, you know, and you will go to some areas where, you know, you have your working class characters, and some other areas, you know, they're like seedy underbellies and stuff, and you will see all kinds of people there. You will even see robots that belong to the poor class or the working class, and, you know, they would go to work, get money, and then go to the casino and blow it trying to get rich so they don't have to work forever, which further puts them down into being poor.
Are John and Sam homeless?
John was a digger in
Dig Dug.
Almost Dig Dug. And yeah, Sam didn't go to school. Eventually she gets permission from the mayor of the cave for her to go to school. And people kind of don't like her there. The adults. It's just it's a very touching game. Like the story is very. It feels like it's based on like very real stuff adapted into this post-apocalyptic world with all these weird characters. The game it does have a couple of problems. The biggest problem being that the money that you get is called salt, which is actual salt. That's what you're mining for. That's what John was mining for in Potcrock Isle. And you don't get a lot of salt throughout the game unless you start farming for it, you know, fighting monsters over and over again so you can get it. And that salt you use to buy weapon upgrades, buy bullets. So it runs out eventually. It's not easy to get again. There is a cool thing, though, that you get ingredients for you to be able to cook recipes to restore your health, give you extra health, something kind of like in Breath of the Wild, to the point where it actually looks like in Breath of the Wild when you do get the recipes that let you add on to your life without it actually being part of your life. So you would have yellow hearts, just like you did in Breath of the Wild, which is pretty cool. There are a couple more problems. The next problem that I want to talk about, which is probably the biggest one that a lot of people have been complaining about, to me it wasn't that big of a deal, is that there are some characters that are introduced early on in the game that get kind of forced into a specific character type when being put into that position would take time. And these characters are shoved in that position in like a 3-day span cycle inside the game. So it's not enough for these characters to get to the point where they are, and then something happens. And that's something that happens. I think it was done great, but having that be forced onto these characters made it feel like it wasn't earned. It kind of takes away a little bit from what happens, whether if they would have just left it as regular characters that you interact with, and all that, it would have had a bigger impact than, oh, but was I supposed to care this way about them when?
Yeah.
So, but overall, this game is it's so damn good. I put like 20 hours into it, which is what it took me to beat it. And even though boss fights were really easy, they were very telegraphed. You would have to hit them, get them to the point where you could wail on them for 3 consecutive times. So you would have to do the first phase, then the second phase, then the third phase, and then you would win the fight. That was a little bit annoying. Other than that, there were a couple of cool things. Like I said, you could use salt to buy upgrades for your weapons. And the upgrades were for like the shotgun, the flamethrower, the buzzsaw. You do have the cooking pan. The cooking pan you would use to attack. Obviously, that's your main melee weapon. But the cooking pan does get upgraded throughout the story. And I feel like you get it at the beginning. Then a couple of hours into the game, you get it upgraded to level 2, and then you don't get level 3 till almost at the end of the game. But it is still very funny to watch a grown-ass man with a cooking pan, with a skillet, just wailing on monsters or people. And it's just so good. The game is so, so good. For the praises, I just want to say this game is just plain fucking fantastic. The characters are adorable. They're all weird and charming. And if you love Adventure Time or Earthbound, you would love all these characters that you get to interact with. Even the crappy ones are just plain fucking funny. And the story is very lighthearted, but it can also go into some really dark places, dealing with death and not being able to remember certain things about your life. And, it's just so well done, so well written, and except for that one particular point where they try to make you care for these characters in a short amount of time. And overall, this is probably my favorite game of the year so far. This is the best game I've played the entire year. It's a definite 10 out of 10. And I cannot recommend this game enough. This game to me this year is like Hades was for me last year. So I adored Hades, and I just fucking plain love Eastward. It is such a good game, and everybody needs to play it.
Even me?
Yes, especially you. You need to play this game.
I'd probably think it was super cute.
Yeah, you probably would have fallen in love with Sam. She is so adorable, and it's so funny, too. The game is very, very funny, too.
I like funny.
Yeah, there were a bunch of laugh-out-loud moments, like one of the characters screaming at the Mafia Don to put away his cigar.
What?
Because she didn't like the smell of smoke.
Oh, my gosh.
And him doing it.
Sounds like one of our friends.
So, it's very, very funny. All right. So you know what time it is?
I do.
What time is it?
Give me the garbage.
All right. That is Give Me the Garbage.
This week's restaurant is Texas Roadhouse. in Orlando, Florida, and across the country.
It was an Oviedo.
Roadhouse.
It was an Oviedo.
Roadhouse.
Roadhouse.
Roadhouse. I can't do it.
You need to watch the Family Guy episode so you can do it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So I had never been to Texas Roadhouse until like, what was that? Like 2 or 3 years ago on New Year's Eve?
Was it on New Year's Eve?
Or like Christmas Eve, maybe? It was one of the eves.
It was Christmas Eve.
Because it was the only place that was open.
It was Christmas
only
Eve.
place.
And we were coming down from Georgia.
Yes, we were coming. We were like the devil.
Yeah.
Down Georgia. We were coming down from Georgia.
Yeah, we had just taken Johnny Soul in that one fail contest that we said he won, but then we realized that we were the ones judging, so we could have lied and said that he sucked.
Oh my gosh.
So we did, and we took his soul.
I can't.
We put his soul inside Luna.
Oh.
So.
Well, okay, back to Texas Roadhouse.
That's why that dog is so fucked up, because she has 2 souls in there, like a dog soul and a human soul that wants to play a violin.
I can't say that I was terribly impressed with Texas Roadhouse that first time that we ate there. And then we discovered, like, a long time ago that there was one pretty close by. It's near Santino's Pizza and Wings that we reviewed before. Yes. And the other night we were just, like, really struggling on what to have for dinner. And I was like, what if we go to Texas Roadhouse? So we went, and we were both incredibly impressed with what we got. So then we went back again and decided to finally take pictures of it for Gorbage.
Some pictures, because I had just started eating, and I completely forgot that we had to take pictures of the food.
It's hard sometimes because you just want to dive right in.
Yeah.
Warm, happy goodness.
Yeah, it's even harder when it's not the first time we go to a place. It's like the second or third time or fourth or
We're
fifth.
not in Gorbage mode at that point.
And we're like, and I'm like shoving food in my mouth, and you're like, pictures. So not fun.
Yeah.
So
we both
rolls.
failed on that.
Let's talk rolls.
The rolls. So I love that they literally walk you to your table with the basket of rolls, your designated basket of rolls. And it's even better when you get to that table and the waitress finally leaves you alone and they're still warm. And you get to smack that cinnamon butter on top. Oh, man.
It's so good. So good.
See,
they're so fluffy and
warm,
spongy and warm.
Clouds of happiness.
And they're kind of like filling, but not really at the same time.
And like I kind of just wanted a plain butter roll. And the cinnamon butter turned me off at first, but it's really grown on me like a lot. I don't put a lot of the butter on just because I do think it is a little too rich.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's a little too much. But it's still very tasty. Just put a thin layer on top of that warm, happy roll of goodness. And they will bring those suckers to you all night long if you want them to. Mm-hmm. But you got to tell them to stop because you won't be able to eat your food.
Yeah. And the first time we had it, we went there. Well, the second time we went there. And we didn't take pictures of it this time because we didn't order it. We had the triple
dipper. It's like a triple dipper, but it's not called a triple dipper.
Yeah.
That's what it's called at Chili's.
It had like potato skins and
fried pickles and
chicken
wings,
tenders.
Chicken tenders.
Yeah. The fried pickles were actually really good.
They were good, and the loaded potato skins were good too.
Yeah, I don't like fried pickles, and they were pretty good. The potato skins were actually really good, all cheesy and bacony, and so good. Mm-hmm. Tenders were just tenders. Nothing too fancy about them.
They weren't bad by any means, but it was nothing to write home about for sure. And our entrees, I discovered that they actually have something very similar to the salad that I like from Outback so much, but it's better. It's better. It's their steakhouse filet salad, I think is what it's called. So you got your bed of lettuce, but it's also got so much stuff on it. You got tomatoes, you got blue cheese, you've got onions, you've got your steak, obviously, and there's like a vinaigrette, and they give you, obviously, your choice of dressing, but I just get blue cheese, because blue cheese on blue cheese on blue cheese, you can't go wrong. You can never go wrong. And what else is on that salad?
It's blue cheese, tomatoes, onions.
I already said all of those things.
Then I have no idea. I'm sorry, I was looking up.
You're too busy looking up your entree.
Yeah, because I don't remember which cut of meat I ordered.
Oh, I see.
You had the what salad?
Steakhouse filet.
Steakhouse. Okay, so it's salad greens drizzled with Italian dressing, topped with tender filet strips, blue cheese crumbles, bacon bits, red onions, tomatoes, and croutons, and served with a side of creamy blue cheese.
Oh my God, it's so good. So it's like my only complaint is I'm not a huge fan of their croutons. They're not crunchy enough. They're too soft. They're not thick. You know what I'm saying? Because you had the Caesar as one of your sides both times.
Yeah.
It's like they're way too soft. They just like dissolve in your mouth like cotton candy. It's like a cotton candy crouton. It's not cool.
You might not have liked the croutons, but I thought the croutons were pretty good.
They have a good flavor. It's just the texture. I want crunchier.
I like the texture.
Really?
It's like,
I want them to be crunchier.
it's not really crunchy. It's more like crumbly. Like crumbly. I don't know how to describe it. Now, I did have the Caesar salad as my first side. And I think the Caesar salad that they do is the dressing, I think at least it's made in-house or made better and then not from a can or a bottle like in most places, because it does have a very subtle taste of Dijon mustard on it. Because a real Caesar dressing is anchovies, garlic cloves, lemon juice, Dijon, and that one was very nice Dijon-y in it.
Dijon-y.
Yeah, Dijon-y. And it was, the salad was fresh, it was crunchy, the croutons were pretty good. The cheese was, the Parmesan cheese was pretty good too. I really liked it. And then for my main, I had the Fort Worth ribeye. I loved that ribeye. It was meaty. I think I got
tender.
It was very tender. I got the 14 ounce. I asked for it medium rare, and they gave me a little bit over medium. And the lady's like, "Is this fine?" And I cut it. I'm like, "Yeah, it's perfect. It's so tender that it doesn't matter."
She looked a little disappoined.
Yeah. Oh well.
It still tasted really good.
Yeah,
I mean, you didn't even put any steak sauce on it, and it was awesome.
No, I just ate it as is. I do have to confess that I love steak sauce. I will put steak sauce on everything. But
you will. Literally everything.
But sometimes you just gotta let the meat talk by itself.
And your baked potato, it was so tasty.
So before we get to the baked potato, so the steak must have had really good marbling because it was super tender and the whole thing was just completely buttery. And whatever season they put on it, they must have gone ham on it on the fat parts because the fatty parts were so fucking good. It had, I think it had like 2 large fat veins running through it. And every time I got one of those veins, it was like licking heaven. It was so fucking good. And the baked potato, it was a loaded baked potato. It had cheese, bacon, and sour cream. And they do the thing that I love with baked potatoes is that they coat it in salt so that you can actually eat the peel. Oh my God, it's so good. So good. And we ended up spending like $50 on the whole thing?
Yeah, it's not that expensive, especially since we both ate steak. I mean, I know mine's significantly smaller than yours, but
and for a 14 ounce, I feel like the price was pretty good. It was like $14.
Pretty big steak.
So like $1 per ounce. Mm-hmm. So I was happy with that. So yeah, we're definitely going to go back here again.
Your potato.
I did talk about it.
You did?
Yeah, it was coated in salt, and I loved it.
It was amazing.
Because I love to eat the peel.
It was so creamy and happy, and I was too busy thinking about it, and I wasn't listening to you. That's what happened. Mm. I was daydreaming about your baked potato.
While I was talking about
your baked potato.
I don't want to know what that is.
I'm not funny.
It's funny because you make me upset sometimes. People might think that's funny.
I guess so, maybe.
The only thing we haven't had is desserts from here. we somehow have never ordered a dessert. Then again, they don't sound
I'm pretty
great.
sure. Yeah, no, I don't think there was anything on the menu that appealed to me. Otherwise, I probably would have suggested it. They have a apple pie, it looks like, with a scoop of ice cream on top. They got some cheesecake, and they got a big old brownie. That's a brownie with a scoop of ice cream on top. Yeah, none of that it kind of sounds underwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I next time I'm kind of surprised that when we went, I didn't get the roadkill because I love the name. It's so funny, and it's a chop steak. I love
You love chop steak.
It's so good, especially with sauteed onions and sauteed mushroom. This one has cheese, though. I might have to ask him for it without cheese. Chop steak doesn't need cheese. But yeah, that so good. So garbage.
Oh, definitely garbage. Definitely. I want to go back now after talking about it.
It's so weird to give a chain restaurant a garbage rating.
It's good though, and considering the prices and the value, the quality, yeah, it was 100% garbage.
It's not amazing quality, but it's still pretty decent.
It's good for what it is. Yeah.
It definitely is. All right, so you ready to get into some housekeeping?
I am ready.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into some housekeeping. First up, go sign up for Patreon. We are eventually hopping back in tomorrow.
One day.
We just need to make some time and just do it.
Now we got to watch Shang-Chi.
And yeah, we do. And we got to watch Eternals and all that shit. And work is just beating our asses. So we'll definitely get back into it. But, we have a couple of episodes there, $2 a month. Soon we're going to do another backlog of Doom because in 2 weeks we do the backlog of Doom episode where we cover the games that were chosen by our patrons. It is going to be Dark Matter for you.
Yes.
And Ori and the Blind Forest for me. And after that, we'll do another one. Next week, we're probably going to do the final Horror Month episode because I'm making some good headway into the Evil Within 2. And Karradyne's almost done with Empire of a Vampire, which she has been saying she's going to finish since September. And cool thing, our episode from last week released on Facebook, so you can listen to some episodes now on Facebook.
Finally.
Probably this one, you're going to be able to listen on Facebook too. Remember to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at anovelconsole, on Facebook at facebook.com/anovelconsole. Don't forget to tell your friends that they can find the podcast on most major podcast streaming platforms. Please share this show with them. Tell them to listen to us. Bother them. Say this show is not funny. You can listen, cringe, and send us an email telling us how much you hate us, and we will read it on the show. Just send it out at anovelconsole@gmail.com. It'll be great. We're on YouTube. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, all that stuff. Leave us a rating on Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts. 5 stars, what you like, what you hate. 3 stars, what you like, what you hate. Whatever the hell you want to give us, just please do it. It would be great. And our art was done by Metamorphic A. You can find her on Instagram. Link will be on the show notes. And with that, I think we're done. You want to say goodbye to everyone, Karradyne?
Goodbye, everyone.
You forgot to say Karradyne.
Goodbye, Karradyne.
Goodbye, everyone.
I'm tired.